What's going on, YouTube? My name is GinJTCG, or Chris, and today I'm back with one of our favorite rogue decks, the Slowking box deck. With Seek Inspiration, you discard the top card of your deck, and if that card is a Pokemon that doesn't have a rule box, you choose one of its attacks and use it as this attack. So essentially, you could copy some very overpowered attacks for the cost of just 2 energy. And I know you're probably thinking, if you haven't seen this deck before, how are you going to consistently get a bunch of Pokemon on the top of your deck to use the attack of? Well, that's where Academy at Night or Ciphermaniac's Codebreaking comes into play. Academy at Night, once during each player's turn, that player may put a card from their hand on top of their deck. So before we attack, if we have Academy at Night ready to rumble in play, we can just put in a plethora of different attacking Pokemon. And if we don't have that, hopefully we have a Ciphermaniac's Codebreaking, where we search for 2 cards in our deck, shuffle our deck, and then put those cards on top in any order. So we could kind of stack our deck if we don't have the stadium lined up, and you know, get Pokemon on top so we're ready to rumble that way. Now, again, if you haven't seen this deck is gaining a bit of popularity. It's honestly doing pretty well into the current meta because I think it's slowed down a good bit, and it's got some very versatile attacks. But if you haven't seen what this deck has at its disposal, we've got 2 copies of the Kyurem with Plasma Bane, where if your opponent has any cards in their discard pile that have colors in the name, this Pokemon can use its attack for just 1 colorless energy. That becomes very relevant if you see your Pokemon is playing Chorus's Tenacity, and they get, you know, special energy in a stadium in play, whatever deck they're playing. Maybe if it's like a Grand Tree type of build, I feel like that's a common situation you see Chorus. If that's the case, Kyurem actually doesn't need to be used with Slowking. You could just bench Kyurem and just use its attack to kind of blow up your opponent's board before it evolves. And again, that's primarily in decks that play Grand Tree. So if that's something you're up against, well, I mean, yeah, you got a good attacker that way. But if not, I mean, you could still use its Trifrost attack, where you discard all energy attached to this Pokemon and do 110 damage to 3 of your opponent's Pokemon. So you can use this attack with Slowking for just 2 energy, even if they're not playing Chorus. You don't have to worry about the cost. And you're just going to copy that attack, and if you're up against, like, Dragapult, Gardevoir, something like that, you could blow up the Dreepy, the Dracloaks, the Curlias, the Ralts, the Dusknors, you know, the Budews, whatever you see, you could just kind of blow it up and take a quick 2 to 3 prize cards. Maybe you're setting up some good damage, which isn't something you need to worry about in this deck. Again, this deck has options, but if it's something you have to do for a turn, like just litter some damage on Fez to follow up with the Kyurem the following turn and use a big KO, I mean, hey, so be it. It's what you got to do. Some other attackers we have in the deck are Conkeldurr with the Gutsy Swing attack. I mean, Tantrum isn't bad, but it does confuse ourselves if we use it for 80 damage, and since we're copying an attack, we might as well just use Gutsy Swing. We don't have to worry about if this Pokemon is affected by a special condition, ignore all energy in its attack cost, because we're using Slowking's attack to do that. I mean, I guess if they confuse us with Monkey Dory or something and we don't have any energy in play, maybe that's a situation that could be more helpful. But in general, I feel like with Slowking, it's not a hard setup for Seek Inspiration. So you can copy Gutsy Swing relatively no problem. Take out any of those basic EX Pokemon, such as Raging Bull, any of the Ogerpons, Fezandipiti, Squawkabilly, Mew, you know, any of those guys, you can kind of copy the attack and let it rip with that. Now, I know you're probably looking at this list and you're thinking, oh, why don't we play Clefairy in this deck to deal with Dragapult? It's because we don't need it. We have Regigigas, where we can copy this attack for, again, just 2 energy and do 330 damage to our opponent's active Terra Pokemon. So we can effectively one-shot Regigigas, or excuse me, one-shot Dragapult, one-shot Charizard, one-shot any of those big, tanky, Stage 2 EX Pokemon that are dominating the meta. We can take them down. You know, Gardevoir EX is one of the only Stage 2s that's very popular that isn't a Terra type, and if you're trying to swing into a Gardevoir, I think your better bet is Annihilape. With the Destined Fight attack, you just knock out both active Pokemon. And I know it's kind of a hit to yourself, but if you're able to limit their bench with by copying Trifrost and then go after maybe their only Gardevoir, you know, their only Ralts line in play that's left with Destined Fight, it's actually not a bad out. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the list. I mean, I guess you could copy Budew, but Budew's going to be there really just to, again, slow your opponent down and then buy yourself time to set up, you know, just deal with a little bit of a Budew war. And I think part of the reason, again, this deck is able to hang so well is because the format has slowed down exponentially with Budew. I feel like a lot of people are complaining how Budew's awful for the format, Budew's slowing things down. You know, it's not. We're seeing a lot of the turbo decks switch up their build to account for Budew, and the item lock is too easy, too overpowered. I think that's good, because now it opens the door for decks like this, decks like Slowking, to have much more competitive potential, because the time Budew needed to buy for all the decks playing against each other has created an environment where Slowking can now thrive and work in a Budew format, because there's really not many items we're playing to set up. Obviously, we're playing 4 Buddy-Buddy Poffin and 4 Ultra Ball to get our Pokemon and to set up everything we need in play. You know, our energy acceleration, Xatu, is going to be one of the most pivotal parts of this deck, just to make sure that we could keep going at any moment. But in general, like, we can work around item lock. I mean, we got Tatsugiri with the track customers to dig us out some supporter cards. If that's in the active spot, we got 4 copies of Jet Energy, where we can then jet a Budew to the active spot or jet Slowking to the active spot and get it ready to rumble. So, you know, like, we could live without items. We got Ciphermaniac's Codebreaking. If we could use that, plus a Clairvoyant Sense, you know, just draw 2 cards that we absolutely need, we're good. We got 4 copies of Iono, again, just to make sure we're getting into a huge hand, drawing into what we need. I mean, we're playing Squawk, which I try not to use Squawk if I don't have to, because it's such a prize liability in a single prize dominated deck like this. I do see the benefit of Fezandipiti for Flip the Script. That is a wildly important card in a deck like this, just to make sure you're drawing into a bigger hand, especially if your Xatus are getting pinged. And Latias is the reason we don't need Rescue Board in this deck. You know, if we have a Slowking and then we use Trifrost, you know, it's going to be hard to pivot out without Jet Energy. Rescue Board is really not going to do much with that 3 retreat cost, and I know Latias isn't either, but Latias also means we don't have to waste a tool slot on a Tatsugiri if it's in the active spot. We don't have to worry about retreating out a, you know, Fezandipiti. If we have Fez and Tatsugiri in play, and we've only got 1 Rescue Board in the deck, it might be hard to pivot the other out. So just having Latias to take that slot isn't the end of the world. And if you already have a Fezandipiti in play at 210 HP, I figured a Latias is still fine. You know, it's not 160 like Squawk, and that's where I worry a little bit, is the low HP. We're also playing a Psychic deck, so having a 2 prize 200 damage attacker isn't the end of the world. Again, if you're in that sort of situation, I don't know what happened to your Slowkings, but you never know what's going on. We're already playing the Psychic Energy. If we have to use Eon Blade, so be it. You know, we'll figure it out. We'll make it work. Now for the rest of the deck, we're playing 4 copies of Night Stretcher, again, because with Seek Inspiration, ideally you're trying to take multiple prize cards a turn between Trifrost, Regigigas, and Conkeldurr, and then if absolutely needed, Annihilape. Like, you're trying to take multiple prize cards a turn, but you're still going to need to recycle the one of each of these Pokemon you're playing. So, you know, with the exception of Kyurem, because there's 2. So to make sure we're recycling them, we got 4 copies of Night Stretcher just to put it back into our hand, and then use Academy at Night to put them back on top of the deck at the end of the turn. Now for our A spec, we're playing 1 copy of Maxrod, and I think Maxrod is absolutely, undeniably the best A spec in this deck. You put up to 5 in any combination of Pokemon or basic energy cards from your discard pile to your hand. So you can take back all the energy that you've lost, all the Slowkings if you've been spamming Trifrost. You know, if they took a couple KOs while you were using Regigigas, you could bring back the energy, you could bring back a couple Pokemon, hopefully carry you through the rest of the game. Now, I did mention we have 4 copies of Jet Energy and 2 copies of Reversal Energy, so if we're down in the prize trade, we could just attach Reversal, swing with Slowking. It makes it very, very easy to keep going, just consistency-wise. Now, I think the last card I really haven't touched on in the deck is going to be the Powerglass. And the reason I love Powerglass is because I think right now Trifrost is just an insane attack to abuse for 2 energy on repeat against so many decks, especially if you could put them under Budew lock, then you know they're not going to rare candy for a turn. So if you could get that first attack off with Trifrost, like, just the Kyurem spam, the Trifrost spam is insane. So with Seek Inspiration, there's only 2 energy attached to this Pokemon, and you discard all of them to use the Trifrost attack. So if I can mitigate that as much as possible and attach Powerglass to that Slowking in the early game after I use the attack, you know, at the end of my turn, after my attack, it specifies on the card, you take a basic energy from your discard pile and attach it to this Pokemon. So after using Trifrost, we effectively only get rid of 1 energy, which means it's a very easy attach swing the following turn to keep the Trifrost spam going. So I really do like the Powerglass edition in this deck. I think that's one of the most pivotal cards. I know, like, a lot of the lists for this deck are wildly similar. One of the other cards that I've seen in a lot of lists is a 1 copy of Lana's Aid. I don't think it's the most necessary card. I think between 4 Night Stretcher and Maxrod, there's plenty of recovery. And also, like, there's other Pokemon you could use. Okay, maybe Lana's Aid is nice, so you could use Regigigas the turn, you know, right after if you don't happen to have a Night Stretcher, but then that's your supporter for turn. And it's like, what if you want to use Researcher, Ciphermaniac's Codebreaking, you know, to get you a little bit of an edge going into the rest of the game? Like, you know, you gotta weigh those options. And I think in general, like, if you're that pressed to use Regigigas, just use Annihilape. You know, like, this deck has other options. Use Kyurem. Try to take 2 prize cards off 2 bench Pokemon. I think, like, part of the skill in this deck is gonna be realizing that there's gonna be Pokemon you don't necessarily want to use, but you might have to dig for and try to pull off a crazier play than you might have expected. It might not be the hardest line. I mean, this deck isn't playing Boss's Orders. I think just the fact that we need so many Pokemon in this deck means we, like, gusting cards are just kind of not in the question. I think, you know, if you're looking for a gusting card, I don't know if this is the deck to play. I mean, this deck is just trying to utilize good bench snipe damage, good attack. You know, whatever your opponent is playing, they're going to have a bunch of in the active spot, and you're just going to deal with that thing as is and take it out very consistently. So yeah, that's it for Slowking. You know, you're really not gusting much. You're just whatever's in the active are blown up, and that's that. So yeah, that was a super long intro. I apologize. Let's hop into today's match. I will see y'all in match number 1. Welcome to match number 1. While I'm setting up, just want to remind everyone, you got that TCG player affiliate link in the description down below. So if you're looking for any singles, any decks, any deck accessories, make sure you hop on over to TCG player. And check out the link. TCG Player's got it all, so thank you so much to everyone who's been using that. Now, we are going to open up with kind of a rough hand, I'm not going to lie. I mean, we got triple Buddy-Buddy Poffin. We are going second. Regigigas is in the active, however, and I don't have any Nest Balls. I'm going to need an Ultra Ball top deck to get that Latias. Get Gigas on out of here. But we'll see what my opponent's got in store for us. If I have to sit behind a Gigas, you know, wait for my opponent to deal with this thing, like, so be it. We're good. You know, again, we'll make it work. That's what's nice about this deck. It's a single prize dominated deck, so we don't mind taking a little bit of time. And I got some good Pokemon in my hand, too, to put on top with Academy at Night, if we could be so lucky as to make it that far. For now, I am going to take out a Natu and a Budew. I will hold the other Buddy Poffin for a little bit, and I think I'm just going to pass here and almost hope my opponent has the KO, and I can just kind of item lock my opponent for a turn. I don't mind falling down 2 prize cards. I mean, 3 is rough. 3, we're going to have to make a legit comeback, and it's going to be very difficult. We could work on one-shotting them pretty well, assuming we could get what we need. Just an Academy at Night, even to put Annihilape on top, could be huge. But yeah, I apologize too if that was a super long intro and a little slow or hard to get through and you're just skipping a match number 1. I don't know why that one took me so long to break down. And my opponent seems to be having a rough time just like I am, which is honestly no problem to me. I think what I'm going to want to do then is throw Xatu here. This is a match where I might go for the Kyurem, not the Annihilape initially. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to Ultra Ball away Buddy-Buddy Poffin and Annihilape. I can always bring it back with Night Stretcher if absolutely needed. And I'm going to take a Latias. And then with Latias, I'm going to get my free retreat pivot to just go in with Budew and just keep item locking my opponent. Now, the Regigigas sitting in play is going to be the most annoying thing because the thing is never going to be in the active spot. Unless my opponent decides to boss KO it for whatever reason, which won't really do much to help me, but I guess it's a thing that could happen. It's just going to be a wasted bench space, and that's one of the unfortunate parts of this deck. Like, Annihilape, Conkeldurr, you don't have to worry about drawing into those and having to make them your active Pokemon. Again, this is part of the reason we love Latias in the deck is because you could lead Regigigas or Kyurem at any moment, and it's going to be hard to move those guys out of the active spot. You're going to see, like, the value of it here, but, you know, we're kind of in this in this situation where there's not much I can do at all until I draw into a research, draw into Ciphermaniacs. But once we get those, I mean, we're going to be flying through, especially if my opponent doesn't get evolved in that time. I mean, dude, we're 1 Kyurem, 1 Academy at Night, and set up Slowking away from just wiping the floor with my opponent. So I'm just going to keep itchy-palling them. I wish I had more to say for this intro. I feel like now I wish I used the back 4 minutes of my deck showcase just to give me something to talk about while we're going through here. It's definitely a Goldengo deck if you couldn't put that together. We're starting down a Gimmighoul, Monkey Dory with the Dark Energy to spam a Adrenabrain and make sure that, you know, our Budew is gonna fall. Which is fine. I mean, I have a Night Stretcher. I really don't want a Night Stretcher back Budew, but if I can't top deck a Research or something like that, well, it doesn't really seem like I have a choice. So they're just going to use Mirror Error Running, search their deck for 2 basic energy cards. They're just going to take the Psychic, and they probably have a bunch of energy at this point, unless they've been forgetting to use that. They might have. And we're just gonna keep drawing into the energy. All right, well, so be it. Let's Itchy Pollen. Throw up a damage counter for them. Stop the items, more importantly. My opponent can Adrenabrain, take the KO. I will throw up Regigigas, and I'm like legitimately praying that they have KO on Regigigas just so that thing could get off my bench. And I got room for Fez and another Natu if I'm fortunate enough to get it out of the prize cards. But here, like, this is what I mean. You know, we'll slow our roll down. We don't have to force anything too insane yet. You know, if this is how it's got to be, and this is how match number 1 has to go, I guess it's lucky my opponent is also having a rough time. But this is the sorry, there's something on my camera. This is the unfortunate truth about card games. Like, I think people see a hand like this in the first game. Like right now, this is our match number 1. I mean, I played a couple games with this deck, so I got a little bit of a flow going. But for the most part, like, you see a match like this and you're like, nah, dude, I can't play this deck. This deck is whack. You know what I mean? Like, why would anyone play this at Bricks? I don't necessarily think this deck is the brickiest thing, or it wouldn't have had such good results. Honestly, pretty recently, too, in online tournaments. And I know they're just online tournaments. That doesn't necessarily say everything. but it's still something to keep in mind. I am sadly going to get rid of Conkeldurr. This could be a good attacker in this match, even if we're just 10 damage short. Could set up some big Trifrost KOs, but I think I need to get Fez here. I really need to play the game. So we are going to take Fezandipiti. They did take a KO. I am going to flip the script, draw into 3 cards, and you know what? Honestly, I'm not even mad about those 3 cards. I'm mad about this Jet Energy. Is there anything I could Jet to? I don't think so. I mean, we could bin it. I think we're just going to have to discard it. I don't know if there's much I could do with that. Because I could put it on Slowpoke, but like, do I really want Slowpoke in the active spot? I think I want Regigigas in the active spot. I'm waiting for my opponent to figure it out as well. And we're going to get Reversal Energy. Wait, okay, this is pretty sweet now that I look at it. So we're going to Ultra Ball away, Buddy-Buddy Poffin, and Squawk. Actually, I think we just got game. Dude, this deck is insane. This deck is absolutely insane. So they're up in prize cards. Right? If you're wondering how I got game, we're going to Academy at Night. We're going to attach the Reversal Energy. We do have a free retreat on Regigigas. I am behind in prize cards, so Seek Inspiration is live. I do have a Night Stretcher in hand, so I'm just going to Night Stretcher. I'm going to take back the Kyurem. I'm going to use Academy at Night. I'm going to put the Kyurem on top of my deck. I really hope my opponent gives it to us. They let us follow through. We're going to Seek Inspiration, discard the Kyurem, and get rid of 3 Pokemon. Boom. I don't know what the worry was. I was worried that, you know, something, I would get hammered, this brick would be bad. Dude, we went from a brick to 3 prize cards in 1 turn. That's nuts. We'll take our 3 here, and we'll move on over to a very fast ending to match number 1. Let's hop on over to match number 2, see if we can guarantee that positive record for Slowking. Welcome to match number 2. We are going first. Okay, so that makes things a little difficult, but honestly not that bad, because we do have Ciphermaniacs in hand. We got Kyurem, we got 2 energy. Like, we could actually make this work, I think. And my opponent is leading Torchic, so hopefully that means I'm not going to get Donkeo'd. I'm just going to attach here, and then I'm going to pass for turn and just call it a day. And we'll see what I can top deck. This could be, I mean, what could I top deck to just win me the game? I could top deck Slowking, Ultra Ball, and I think I legitimately would win, because then I would just Ciphermaniac Kyurem up top and take out 3 Pokemon, unless they get more than 3 Pokemon, actually. Like, I didn't really account for that. Yeah, here's the best. All right, well, that would be a little problematic, but not the end of the world. I mean, we could still make it work. Hopefully, oh my god, do they just go Petron? Do they just have the Petron set up like that to immediately? No, they go TM Evo. Thank gosh. Totally forgot about that being a problem. They Iono me. Honestly, fine by me. That is so okay. I think I could still take out 3 Torchics potentially with this type of setup. Not with this hand though, but this hand does give me room to Budew item lock them, maybe buy me a little bit more time to get my slow what do you call it, Slowkings out, you know, my Natus evolved, stuff like that. TM Evo, honestly, as nice as it does seem in a deck like this, I did consider it, but then I'm like, no, it kind of takes away from the consistency and everything else. I kind of like how the trainers in this deck, there are like 20 of them or something like that, but they're all like 4-ofs for the most part. You know, like, this is such a just beat stick consistent build of Slowking, and I think this is overall a solid way to play it. I think really, again, the only addition I would consider is like that Lana Zeta I mentioned in the very long deck intro, and we still somehow get Kyurem out of the top deck too. Okay, well, that's nuts. Good to know both of them are in the deck. We're gonna bench Natu down here. We are gonna go with the Buddy-Buddy Poffin, and I prized Tatsugiri. Honestly, I was gonna say I kind of want to go for the Tatsugiri play right now. However, it seems I'm not gonna get that lucky, so I'm just gonna take out another Slowpoke, and honestly, let me just Budew item lock them. If they take out Budew, they take out Budew. You know, like, it's whatever at this point. We'll get these guys down though, and here's where I was talking about where you get that Jet Energy Budew Demon play, and we're gonna just put more faith into our top deck. You know, the Itchy Pollen going to town, more faith into our active putting in work. Now, if they do have another energy, they could KO Budew with Torchic, but then if I top deck an Ultra Ball, well, Ultra Ball just spells Fezandipiti. Once we're behind him, Budew is gone, so it's, you know, like, I'll take it. There's a lot of cards we could draw into that are super helpful. Research would be awesome. Fezandipiti would be awesome. Any sort of Ultra Ball would be great. You know, even, I mean, I guess we don't have a basic energy. I was going to say Xatu could be pretty cool. We could get 2 cards, but I don't actually have the energy in hand to pull that off. My opponent does have 1 card left in hand, and it is Iono, so we're going to get a new hand. This is huge. Even if they set up Combuskin and KO Budew, we got Research. I don't want to Research with Max Rod, but I mean, if that's what must be done, I'm not gonna stop it. You know what I mean? Like, that's fine. I think regardless, yeah, they go into Petron. They're gonna go for a poison play. Do they not have? They Seething Spirit. Do they? Oh no! You got 2 energy, so you could use Poison Chain, and then you'll KO Buddy that way. Okay, that works. I mean, that's fine. Losing Maxrod here is legitimately super painful. Like that actually is annoying. Blaziken is another one of those Pokemon like Gardevoir that's a big stage 2 that honestly I'm seeing more and more that we're not able to immediately deal with Regigigas. Kind of leans into more the Annihilape line, especially after, you know, they've evolved and now we can't just Kyurem their board away. We can still Kyurem 3 prize cards. We can take out Petra, Monkey Dory, Combuskin. That would be huge. I'm going to promote Natu here in case I don't know, top deck something more just because I got your energy and I want it to feel more worth it. We're going to Buddy-Buddy Poffin, and I'm going to take out another Slowpoke and another Xatu. We do have 2 Slowkings in the deck, but that's fine. I'll wait a little on evolving 1. It doesn't seem like their deck is doing an insane amount of bench sniping for the most part. And then I could max out. Is there anything I could max out that would even be worth it? No, because Budew would go to hand, and I'm about to just research my hand away. So I think I'm just going to throw Slowpoke up in the active and then research. And we're just going to pray we can figure something out. Sadly, again, Maxrod, Latias, Kyurem, all phenomenal cards. None of them are going to be cards I can totally take complete advantage of. I am going to get the Slowking, but at what cost? I don't necessarily have a perfect KO with it. Oh man, I mean, I could pray. You know, like I don't mind throwing a little prayer up there and hoping that the top card of our deck is phenomenal. Let's see. You know, why not? What could I get rid of that would be that bad? Ultra Ball. It's pretty bad. All right, yeah, that wasn't worth it. That's fine. I mean, they could use Poison Chain here. They could retreat and go into Blaziken. That would be pretty problematic. I could just Ciphermaniac's Codebreaking a Pokemon up to the top of my deck if I need to. Actually, that Ultra Ball top deck was going to be pivotal for me to get Xatu and set up another Pokemon. So this is not ideal, but that's okay. You know, like let's slow it down. You know, let's play our game. Let's slow it down. Let's hope they just keep going Petra. You know, they don't need to go into another Blaziken, and they actually have no energy in the discard pile. So even if they retreat and go in with the Blaziken, so use Smolder Soul, they don't have any energy to set this guy. I lied. They got energy to set it up. All right. I'll stop talking. Let's just hope that you don't have a way to discard those energy, and all you can do is Poison Chain, stop me from retreating, but get some really good poison damage done on Slowking. I mean, that would be problematic. Yeah, no, you're retreating to Blaziken. What is the play? You got Ultra Ball in hand, don't you? I mean, you got 1 energy in the discard. Oh, but then the other you have in hand a manual attachment because of the retreat. All right, yeah, fair enough. I mean, I guess I had that one coming, huh? Well, that was a pretty big misplay on my end, I'm sure, somewhere. I'm sure I did something where that wasn't going to work. We could come down from 2, though. As scary as it is, like, this deck, we're playing, like, all single prizers for the most part. We got, like, Fez on the back end. We can make this comeback. I am very confident in that. I'm going to throw Natu up in the active, and Ultra Ball here would have been best card in the world. Sadly, I'm not going to be able to pull that off. I get a Slowking down, and I could Ciphermaniac's 2 cards. Is that gonna do anything for me? I don't think so. I mean, I can't Buddy-Buddy Poffin anything. Yeah. I mean, what 2 cards could I put on top of the deck? Can I fall down 3? Because then they retreat going with another Blaziken. We could go Kyurem, take 3, tie them up, then they take 1 prize card, and then if we could take a 2 prize KO without... I don't know how we take a 2 prize KO, though, without Annihilate on the Blaziken. We'll see. We'll see what we got. Let's evolve Slowking here. Let's Ciphermaniac's Codebreaking, and let's go for... what? Xatu? No, I don't want a 2-price Pokemon in play. Let's go Xatu Research. And then I'll draw into Xatu. I'll use Xatu to attach the energy here, and then I will also draw Research to just beef everything up. Yeah, I like that. Oh, Latias is out of the deck, though, so I'm going to have trouble retreating. So maybe I just go Reversal, Research. Right? But then I'm not going to draw both. So I get Research as a top deck, and then I draw Reversal off the Research so I can set up Slowking. Yeah, that works. So I'm going to put this energy down on Slowpoke. Yeah. Because then I can attach Reversal here, I'll be ready to swing, I'll be good. And then, yeah, this works. Okay. And then we'll pass for turn. And I got Academy at Night in hand, so I can just play that. I can put the Powerglass down on Slowking as well. because I do have a Psychic Energy here, so then I could try to set up another Kyurem play if that's the route my opponent goes. Alright, we're going to see if we can fall down from 3 prize cards. If my opponent has Boss's Orders, and they take out... Honestly, I don't know what they boss that, like, totally destroys me. They could take out Slowking. That would be, like, pretty annoying. I'm pretty confident we could try to set another one up. They give me Petron again. That's fine. I'm not really worried about a Petron. I'm going to chase down Combuskin and double Petron this match. Or this turn, excuse me. With a Trifrost line. Am I down 2 Kyurem? I'm not sure. No, I'm down 1. Okay. 1 Kyurem, 1 Slowking. I'm going to need some sort of... This is why I need Max Rod to bring back these Slowkings. Gosh. So unfortunate. All right. It's okay. We got, what, 3 more Night Stretchers? We got 4 Night Stretchers in the deck. That's plenty. We'll make it work. That's all I need, honestly. I'm gonna regret saying that. Probably prize 3 of them, knowing my luck. And they're going to Secret Box away 3 huge cards. You don't go for the Iono, do you? Didn't you play a supporter this turn? Maybe you didn't. No, I guess... Oh, you played Arven. Yeah, you did. Okay. That makes sense. You played Arven for Secret Box, and then you Secret Boxed away 3 huge cards. Night Stretcher, Countercatcher, Iono? Okay. I mean, they're just trying to hammer in this match, I guess. They could have Adrenabrained some damage onto a Pokemon. How much damage does this guy have? 10 damage done to him. That's not going to do much. Okay, and you get Artisan, Arven, Ultra Ball. Interesting. I guess they don't want to Iono because they would give us a huge new hand, and their hand is infinitely smaller, but I am going to be taking 3 prize cards next turn. Hopefully, ideally, I will be. They're going to Poison Chain, just take the KO on Natu. That's fine. We're prepped for this. And now we're going to try to make our 3 prize card comeback. Or we're down 3 prize cards. We're going to try to make that comeback. We're going to tie them up. I just got to have a big follow-through for the rest of the game. Let's throw Slowking in the active. I know I'm top-decking Research. And then I know off Research I'm going to get Reversal, which is pretty sweet. So I'll play Academy at night. I will, honestly, you know what? I'll attach Powerglass to active. I mean, they have a KO with Blaziken, like, guaranteed. So you know what? Let's just throw it here. I know I got Reversal KO on active. That's good enough. and we get Kyurem. Oh, yeah. Oh, we're good. And then I got a Night Stretcher, which can bring me back a Slowking that is very needed at this point. So we'll get this guy out of the discard pile. We are going to evolve into Slowking here. I'm going to hold the other Night Stretcher. I will, however, play not to. I'm going to Academy at night the Kyurem from our hand to the top of our deck. I have a Jet Energy, so I could go in with Slowking next turn. I'm going to seek Inspiration, and I'm going to take 3 big KOs here. I'm going to get rid of Kyurem. I'm going to choose to go Trifrost. And honestly, I could leave him with Monkey Dory. Like, I think we take out, what, the Petrons and Combuskin? Monkey Dory. Yeah, let's leave him Monkey Dory. I haven't seen Psychic Energy, so we'll do this here, and then we'll throw some damage on Combuskin, because that guy could evolve and be very problematic. We're going to take 3 huge prize cards this turn, tying us back up. And now I need to take, what, a 2 prize KO and a 1 prize KO, and we can win the game? Because they've got 3 KOs theoretically left to take, and we get a Night Stretcher out of the discard pile too. Or out of the prize cards. That's big. Very important. I guess I could put 10 damage, 110 on Blazikins. No, you know what I could do? Okay. Wait. I have a plan. Oh my god, they get rid of Night Stretcher. They go boss on who? On Slowking. Okay. That's not the end of the world, because they can Night Stretcher and energy back and throw an energy down on Slowking with Xatu, manual attach, and we're good. I don't need a Night Stretcher. The Latias back to give us the retreat if we promote Slowpoke, but I might need a Night Stretcher back. No, I don't. I just need Academy at night. Okay. Alright. We're going to figure this out. She's not going to be pretty, but we're going to get it done. That's for sure. Let's promote Slowpoke, just because the Clairvoyant Sense does only go to a benched Pokemon. So we do need this to get the energy fully set up there. And it gets Ciphermaniacs! That changes everything. This is a game changer. We're going to Artisan, and I really don't need that. I need, what, Academy at night? And honestly, even like... How many Night Stretcher? We got 1 Night Stretcher left, and I need another... Okay, that's fine. Let's do this correctly. Night Stretcher back in energy. A basic energy, which, you know, it's like a shame that that's what I have to take, but it's fine. It's not the end of the world. We are going to Ciphermaniac's Codebreaking. We're going to take what? We're going to take a Academy at night, and... I could go Reversal. I think I go Research, though. Just give myself a good card for next turn. That should get me through the rest of the game. Yeah, I like that. We could save our Night Stretcher here as well to get us back another Slowking the following turn. Let's Clairvoyant Sense. Now that we've got the 2 cards on deck that we need, we're going to put the energy on Slowking. I need to get a reversal for next turn, but that's fine. We can do that. We're going to jet Slowking up to the active. Here's the line. Here's the line. It's an interesting one for sure. We're going to bump their stadium. We're going to use Academy at Night. We're going to put Conkeldurr up top, right? And then we're going to swing 250 on their active, which I know doesn't do everything perfectly. That's fine. So be it. We seek inspiration. Get rid of the Conkeldurr. We do 250. Now he's in range to take damage to get KO'd from Kyurem. And then we go Kyurem, 110 KO 2 prize cards, 110 KO 3rd prize card game. This Blaziken, it's just there. They're going to retreat this out of the active. They're going to Academy at Night something on top of their deck. Oh, no. What do you have cooking for us? I needed the research to really just guarantee me the other Night Stretcher that's in my deck to get me Slowking as well. This is not good. Or a Jet Energy or something. Like, I don't know. I need a lot, honestly, to pull this off. But now we have a good line. And they go Ultra Ball. They get rid of Arvin. Wait, what? You Academy at Night, a card in your deck, and then you play Ultra Ball to shuffle your deck and get another Monkey Dorio. Tell me you just play another low HP Pokemon that we can take down with a Kyurem. Do we have both Kyurem in the discard? We might. We do. Okay, yeah. So I do have the Night Stretcher, 1 Kyurem back. I think I have the Night Stretcher, a Slowking back as well. Because I think 1 was prized. So I think I've got 1 in discard, 1 in active, which is going to be kind of bad news bears. And they can move 3 damage counters off on this guy. He still will have 100 HP left, which is still in range for the Kyurem line that I'm going for. And they go for the research themselves. I guess, you know, if they do another, they get a Fire Energy in the discard pile. Okay. I was going to say, if they pull off 2 Monkey Dories, that would be bad news bears. Do you have another Dark Energy with this? Because then they would be at 130 HP remaining. No, you get rid of Mew Blaziken. That's so big. That's so important. And you get a 3rd Monkey Dory. Yo, now it doesn't even matter if you heal Blaziken, because I'm just taking out 3 Monkey Dories if you bench it. And it's benched. Yeah, that's fine. Oh, they do have that line, actually. Okay. So by getting 3 Monkey Dories in play, I think my opponent might have actually thrown. Although if they use 2 Seething Spirits to set up Blaziken, then they wouldn't even be able to set up multiple Monkey Dories. Maybe you're just sitting behind a Blaziken wall. That would be amazing. If you don't take a prize card this turn, oh my god, would that be the best thing in the world. Actually, we would just win, because I Night Stretcher Kyurem, I use Academy at Night, put Kyurem up top, and then I take out 3 Monkey Dories, and you're going after Xatu, not... Oh, I guess it doesn't matter who with Monkey Dory damage, as long as your Blaziken is healed. That 3rd Monkey Dory actually did throw up the game, though, I'm not going to lie. That was a wild misplay from my opponent, because I don't think they could get another one down. I think they're just going to pass here. You got 1 more Seething Spirit to get a Fire Energy somewhere. That's not going to do it. And I think you use your manual attachment on Monkey Dory, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, that's game. Good night, Streaks. I don't know why that 3rd Monkey Dory came into play, but yeah, I'm not complaining. We're going to go Night Stretcher. We're going to take Kyurem back. We're going to put Kyurem on top of the deck with Academy at Night. I've already got the energy needed, so I don't have to worry about that. And then I'm going to go seek inspiration, discard the Kyurem, and those Monkey Dories are looking mighty KO'able. So we're just 1, 2, 3, good night, Streaks. Call it a comeback. Slowking is ridiculous. Alright. Now this next match, I'm really going to hope we open up without a brick. Hey, that's the other Slowking I needed. But regardless of opening up with some rough hands, we are 2-0, excuse me, not 2-2, 2-0. Let's hop into match number 3 and see if we could clutch up the perfect record with Slowking. Welcome to match number 3. We're up against Arch Aladdin, and we are going first. Honestly, this hand does go kind of nuts, too. I'm going to Buddy-Buddy Poffin here. I'm going to take out, Tatsugiri and Natu, right? I kind of love... I mean, we do have Ciphermaniac's Codebreaking, but honestly, this just... I want, like, a research line here. Like, I think that's... Although we do have Jet. Honestly, though, do I even need it? I don't think so. Maybe I don't want Tatsugiri. Maybe I just take another Slowpoke. We'll just get a bigger setup going. Yeah, because I got Ultra Ball, which could get me Slowking. No, gets me Xatu. And then with Xatu, I take Slowking, and I don't know. Oh, well, we'll figure it out. This is a later issue. Let's attach the energy to our active, because then I'm going to Clairvoyant. I'm going to Ultra Ball for Clairvoyant Sense, attach Jet, try to swing. If I need to attach 2 energy to retreat, No, I wouldn't attach energy to retreat. I'm jetting to the active. But then I have another energy on this Slowpoke in my active spot. I'm not too worried about it getting KO'd playing against Archaladin, except for the fact that they're playing the poison package now that I'm seeing Precious Trolley down. Alright, well, you know what? I don't know why. What? That's not what I expected. It's also so bad for us. Oh my god, do you have a way to get Duraludon out of the active and go in with Budew? Because then I can't Ultra Ball and go for that crazy cool play that I was talking about. Oh no. Please tell me all you have is Hammerin. That would make me feel better. You're going to Pokegear for Iono. I'll take it. I mean, we have a good hand, in all honesty. But, like, you know what? I don't mind getting a new hand. My hand is pretty good, but it definitely could be better. Academy at Night, a good Pokemon, a Slowking, and an Energy? Pfft, we're good. And I get an Academy at Night and a Buddy-Buddy Poffin Slowpoke Budew. Alright, yeah, it's not bad. We get a stadium. Most importantly, that's going to be one of the hardest pieces for us to find in the early game, is just draw into that stadium before we have our draw engine established. So getting Buddy-Buddy Poffin to just get another Natu down, even Tatsugiri, like, I'll consider getting down. Nah, I'd probably just Slowpoke Natu would be my go. Maybe even just one Natu because I have a Slowpoke in hand. And then Iono, yeah, they just go for the Hammerin, which means I actually could rest and just mitigate that, which I don't think would do anything, but it would be pretty funny. Well, Academy at Night, I will play the energy, and then we're going to go in with Buddy-Buddy Poffin, Slowpoke Natu. I lied. I'm actually not going to get either of the, or I'm going to get one of those. And then I need space for really just a Fez at this point. So you know what? Because then if I have one here, I've got Fez, and then, let's take Tatsugiri down. Why not? I don't know where this is going. And then I'm going to keep this guy in the deck just in case. Based on what I'm seeing, they're not going to attack multiple Pokemon at once. We do have a Natu PAR, so I'll figure it out. And I'm going to Iono myself into a pretty rough hand. This isn't good. Alright, let's just, I mean, is this even... I don't even know if this is where we Ciphermaniac next turn. I think I kind of need a research for next turn, but I have Max Rod in hand, which I guess I could Academy at Night back, but then I can't stack my deck perfectly. This is bad. Okay. Let's just rest and hope that somehow you are null and void of all Archaladins. Yeah, that's fine. I'm asleep, but if I evolve, I wake up, so it's cool. Well, these are later issues that we will obviously figure out so easily. Gosh, if I have to Ultra Ball away, or excuse me, if I have to go Tatsugiri, get research and research away, Max Rod, and a Night Stretcher, I'm gonna scream. Luckily for us, this is a match we could try to 2-4-6. We could take 3 prize cards before they evolve, hopefully, with Kyurem. Which isn't really 2-4-6 by nature, but then I could go Annihilape, KO Archaladin, KO Zoroark, and then boom. That works. I mean, they're taking 1 prize card at a time. They Ultra Ball for Zoroark. Okay, they've got everything they need in hand, don't they? Right? Or why would you not take Archaladin? I guess maybe you're looking for an energy, you go Arven. So you got Earthen Vessel, and, or Ultra Ball, whichever piece of the puzzle you're missing. And if nothing else, you could Raging Hammer. And that would be surprisingly very effective. And KO my active. You go Earthen Vessel Rescue Board. Yeah. Are you gonna Budew item lock me? Oh no. You are, aren't you? Yes, you are. God. But you could use Vessel and go for another trade. You're just gonna retreat into Budew. You're not even gonna try to chance getting Archaladin. You're just gonna say, here, deal with this. That, I guess, buys us a little bit more time. I mean, I'm just gonna keep this guy in the active, probably. Right? I mean, I can't retreat if I'm asleep. If I wake up, I could just throw Tatsugiri in the active, tell my opponent to figure it out. They probably do have a boss's order, so we'd have to be very careful, but, I mean, hey, whatever. And if we don't wake up, honestly, it's got 2 energy. I might just jet Tatsugiri to the active spot. I don't mind Ciphermaniacs if we're under item lock. It just, we could get something we need to top deck to get us out of this. And what would that be? Probably, I'm not sure, actually. And they get the Archaladin. So they actually did have a KO with Archaladin, but they used their retreat, so they can't get Budew out of here. Okay, that's fine. And yeah, Archaladin set up. That's an Annihilape KO if I've ever seen one, and you have Palpad. You have 0 cards in your hand, but you do have 2 trades. So you can trade away your top deck for 2 cards, and you can trade away one of those for another 2 cards. But yeah, my opponent's got a good hand coming up, and they're going to Itchy Paw and item lock us. And what do we have? We have a sleep still. That is what we have. All right. Well, if that's the case, why don't we jet Tatsugiri to the active? rip attract customers, see what we got in store, right? And then I'll Ciphermaniac. Yeah, that seems pretty cool. I'll take research. Honestly, hear me out. This is insane. I'm going to Academy at Night, put Maxrod back in the deck, then play Ciphermaniac's Codebreaking to shuffle it in the deck, and take 2 cards that are going to be much better for next turn for me to use research and save Maxrod. Like, again, I know it's not pretty. This is probably one of the weirdest plays I really ever could do, but it allows me to keep Maxrod without having to worry about researching it away, and I think I value that much more. And then with this hand, I'm going to take out Slowking and Natu. We do have Annihilape in the deck, which is good. That's going to be our one-shot on Arch Aladdin to tie up prize cards. We're just going to keep looping that guy. Yeah, because now they've got 2 Zorks evolved, so it's like I'm not going to go for a Kyurem. It's really just going to be an Annihilape type of game for us. All right, this works. And then we've got Slowking. We would have Natu. I mean, I guess we could Gutsy Swing, do some work. I don't know. You got options. Let's just pass. We're going to figure this out. We're tied on prize cards, yeah. I'm like worrying, I'm rushing, I'm trying to figure something out as if I'm in a time crunch. We made a 3 prize card come back in game number 2. There is absolutely no reason I could not. I can't do that in game number 3. And we're not even down yet. And they evolve a 3rd Zork. That is insane. And you just get Arvin. Well, what's up, boss? And that's better for us, because if they took out our only Natu or Slowpoke here, I think that would worry me a little bit more. So this is actually okay. And they get Vengeful Punch on our Paladin. I don't think is going to do much, and they just Itchy Pollen. Okay, honestly, that's fine. I don't think I'm too worried about that. I think we just go, what, Slowking? I could... Is it ever worth it to Kyurem or do anything else that's not? I might just vibe. I could put Night Stretcher back on top of the deck just to conserve it. With Academy at Night. I don't think I even need to take a KO. I think they're waiting for us to take the first KO, which is fair. I mean, we don't have boss swords. So I could just spam Kyurem and force them to with Powerglass or something. I'm going to Academy at Night, put Night Stretcher on top. And then I think we're just going to wait one more turn to attack. Now that I used Academy at Night, I'm going to draw into a bunch of new cards. I'm going to get Xatu, Kyurem. That's huge, honestly. This is so solid for us. And then we're going to attract customers, take Ciphermaniacs if we get it, I think, is our supporter of choice, and we get research, which, honestly, I mean, I'll take it just to have it. That's fine. And I think we're good. I think next turn is when I begin to initiate my first attack and give them a reason to take down Slowking with Arch Aladdin. I promote Slowking. I put Kyurem on top of the deck with Academy at Night, and then I just start littering damage on... Honestly, no. I'm going to put 110 on these guys, and then 110 on Zora here. Because... Ooh, we got no cards in their hand. That's fine. Okay. Because then I don't need to use Annihilape. I could actually go into a Conkeldurr and take a couple of prize cards without worrying about KOing myself, and that could potentially save me a tricky prize card. Because Annihilape, again, it does KO myself, so that is something I do have to worry about, is giving my opponent that prize to take 2. It does kind of put us on more of an even trade, and I really don't want to do that. So if I don't have to, that would be nice. I can't use Ultra Ball, and I get Annihilape here too. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Alright, let's Academy at Night. Let's throw Kyurem up top. I guess I probably should have Tatsugiri first, but whatever. I mean, we have research in hand, like, we'll figure it out. Let's go in with Slowking. And let's use... Yeah. I guess No, I don't want to... Yeah, let's do what I was talking about. I like that play with Conkeldurr. Let's do 110 here, 110 here, and then just 110... I don't know. Left is weft. Let's take the left Zork. Left is teft. Left is weft, right is tight. It are phrases my D&D characters thrive off of. That is how I make all my decisions when I'm presented with paths that I have to take. Anyways, now that I've explained that mess, let's see what my opponent's got. Like, now I feel like they have to start attacking, right? Because if they don't, I just dig for Jet Energy Slowking, and I just go in again, and they go Turo to pick up a Arch Aladdin am guessing correctly. I mean, you lose Vengeful Punch, but, like, whatever. That's fine. You're just gonna keep Itchy Pawing me, and I'm just gonna keep Kyureming your Pokemon away. And if you keep doing... No, you do Duraludon. Oh. Well, that's interesting. You have to go for a retreat play and start swinging now, no? Yeah, okay, that's right. That's what I thought. I was hoping so. Do I play Fez? I don't really want to be honest. It depends if I need to. I mean, I don't really want to play Research either. I'm going to go in with Tatsugiri. I do kind of need... How many Jet are in here? Just one. I could go in with Tatsugiri, look for Ciphermaniacs. Yeah, because then I could get Jet Energy just straight out, which would be huge. Let's do that. Let's do that. And I get another Slowpoke. Okay, now I play the Slowpoke. And I'm going to go look for a Ciphermaniac so I can hold my hand another turn. That would be pretty cool, and I get it. Let's go. All right, that's cool. And then I could Ultra Ball away Squawk and Xatu because, well, my other Natu is prized, and, you know, that's the thing. We're going to take out another Slowking, the last one, because one of those is also prized too. And then we're going to throw this here. I can Ciphermaniac's Codebreaking for Jet Energy and Psychic Energy. Or, you know what? I do have three. I've got 3 energies, or... No, you know what? I'm actually going to go Max Rod and Jet Energy. And then I got a Psychic Energy that I could take with Night Stretcher. Yeah, let's do that, actually. I think I like that play more. So I'm going to Ciphermaniacs. I'm going to put Max Rod up top. And what was the other card I wanted? I don't know. I don't think I thought that far ahead. Jet. I was like, I don't think I thought that far ahead. I did. You did, Chris. Good job. You are good at thinking. That is obviously one of your fortes as a Pokemon player, or just a TCG player in general. I'm gonna Night Stretcher back the Psychic Energy. I'm gonna use Xatu to Clairvoyant Sense to a different Slowpoke. Start setting one up in the back end because then I've got Jet to move this guy to the active, and I've got Max Rod, so I can get myself everything out of my discard pile that I might potentially need at some points. We're gonna take these two, and then boom. This looks good, man. All right. Now we're ready to rumble. I'm going to evolve this guy. I am going to Jet Energy you to the active spot. I am going to, and this is all without flip the script, because I don't want a 2-prize liability in play. That is going to be a little bit relevant. We're going to Academy at Night. And honestly, what if I put Kyurem up top? And then I put another damage back on Duraludon. Because then I could go for Kyurem again. No, that's a little more stressful. Let's just go with Conkeldurr. Because I'm thinking, like, what if I take 4 prize cards off Zork? But then I'm still in an awkward situation where I'm 2-shotting a Duraludon. And I think if I just go 2, I might have to pull off another Kyurem at some point. I don't know. We'll figure it out. For now, let's just get rid of this guy. And then we'll seek inspiration and take our KO, take our 2-prize KO, and put my opponent in a tricky spot. We'll Gutsy Swing. Okay. We're good. We got to figure it out. I was thinking, like, Kyurem would be really cool. So I could try to take another couple prize cards off Zork here. But I don't think this was the time to do it. I think, and we get, oh my god, the 3rd Slowking out. Yeah, we're so golden. Now, how do I do this? How do I KO Duraludon in the active spot? Maybe this is where we go Annihilape, right? I feel like that makes the most sense. Just KO ourselves and them, especially if they don't get another Duraludon down on their bench. And they get another one in the deck with Rod, as well as 2 energy, but they still have 3 in the discard pile, so they still could evolve set up. There's still 2 Duraludons in the discard pile, though. There's only 1 in the deck. And they get rid of Archaludon. Oh, that's so big. So big. There's a lot of cards, though, that they could get to pull out another Duraludon. Pokegear could get Arven or Iono or something like that, Arven for Nest Ball, and that could get him Duraludon, and now my Annihilate play is looking way less cool. But I think, like, it's still just the line we take. Because then we just KO the active, and then we could just bring back an Annihilape again and just keep KOing it, and we're good. We can do this in 2 more attacks. We've got 2 prize cards left to take, and they've, from what I'm seeing, only have 2 prize Pokemon attackers. They're taking a Night Stretcher to get back Duraludon, and they still got 1 in the deck. All right, smart. No, they take back Archaludon. No. What? Wait a second. But what if you can't attack? You need an energy. I guess you still have 2 trades left. Oh, no. Oh, my God, that's crazy. They get rid of Boss? Oh, yeah, Fez is alive. How many Boss are you down? You're down only one. I'll use Palpad, that's right. And of course you get Duraludon. Okay, that's fine. Whatever, doesn't matter. We're chilling. We're playing Slowking. Why am I worrying? I know I've got this match in the bag. Because I'm playing the GOAT. And they just scoop. Yeah, I don't think they had a way around that. Oh my god, they didn't have an energy to attack. And then we would just go Annihilape, KO. And then we have 2 prizes left, and we would have 2 more Slowkings left on the bench. Oh my, 3-0. Crazy 3-0. This deck is nuts. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I definitely had a ton of fun playing it. If you're still watching, Battle VIP's podcast, Spotify, go check it out. Link in the description down below. With that being said, seriously, thank you guys so much for all the support. I appreciate every single one of you and just how awesome and honored I am to just be a part of the community that's created through the channel. So yeah, thank you guys so much. With that being said, stay epic. Peace.